So if you haven't seen this yet, Master P, the No Limit Records guy, he's teaming up with this nonprofit in New Orleans called Make Good NOLA. And they're making these things called Tyler mobility trainers. So basically they're wheelchairs, but it's not like the boring kind that you see like in the doctor's office. These are colorful ones, they're lightweight, and honestly they do look fun. And they give little kids the freedom to actually move around and play. So everyone's like, yeah, Master P, he's a great guy, he's good, and he is. But think about it. If it takes viral videos like this to make Master P shown building these $250 wheelchairs for kids who can't afford to move, then like, come on. This says everything about what's wrong with our system. So first off, the first question is this actually real or just some PR stunt? And it is 100% real. Master P and Make Good NOLA, which is a registered nonprofit, they're coming together with an architect. Well, the founder of it is an architect named Noam Platt. So it's not just a photo op, it's actually legit. They do actually do this and give this out to families. Um, Another question is it safe? So yes, it's designed to be safe. The Tyler mobility trainers are meant for kids ages 2 to 8, and they work with physical therapists throughout the world for the design. So they're modular, they're 3D printed. So if something breaks, you can just print a new part instead of buying a whole new wheelchair. So that's the genius part of it, honestly. Now, these things aren't meant to replace like every type of wheelchair. Some kids do really need specific medical equipment. But for a lot of toddlers who just need help getting around, these do work great. So another thing is, should you try this yourself? No, no. So you can't just download the file and start printing it without actually talking to a doctor or a therapist. The kids do need proper fit and support, so you need to have a professional involved. All right, now let's talk about why this whole thing exists in the first place. You know how much a regular pediatric wheelchair costs? The standard one prescribed by a doctor is between $5,000 and $30,000. And that's just for one chair. And then the thing is that kids grow. So every few years you do need a new one, which means that they have to fight with the insurance company all over again. For lots of families, this is literally impossible to afford. So their kid just doesn't get to move around. So think about it. And what Make Good NOLA's solution is they give toddlers mobility trainers away for free. The whole thing costs a couple of $100 to make in materials because they're 3D printed and smart design. And also, they're making the files open source, which means that anyone with a 3D printer can make one as long as they work with a medical team. And that's the innovation here. They're saying, why should this knowledge be locked up behind massive profits? And here's what really gets me. These chairs aren't just about getting from point A to point B. For a 2 year old, being able to move around is how they learn, how they play with other kids, how they build confidence. When a kid can't afford to move, you're not just hurting their wallet, you're actually affecting their development, and that's insane. Look, what Master P and Make Good NOLA are doing is incredible. They're giving kids dignity and independence. But more than that, they're calling out how ridiculous our system is. So there are a few things that you can do if you want to get involved as well. So you can learn about this stuff. There's a whole open source movement that's happening with adaptive technology. So real changes come for people like this, not from big corporations. Two, you can actually support them if you can. Make Good NOLA runs on donations. So if you want to help, you can check them out as well. They use the money to cover materials so they can keep giving the chairs away for free. And also ask questions. Don't just celebrate the celebrity and move on. You actually ask why a wheelchair has to cost $30,000 in the first place. So you can talk to your representatives and talk to your insurance companies because this actually shouldn't be normal. This story isn't about Master P being a hero. It's about why we even need heroes for something this basic. Kids should be able to move around, period. So let me know in the comments what other medical stuff do you think should be way more affordable or just free? Because there's a whole list, trust me.